I mean, it's woo-hoo! I think I'm a groupie. You know, every time I know that they're coming up, I just get really excited. And I know that the music is going to be so in alignment with what the topic is. So thank you for that. That was perfect. In case you didn't know, that's a Daniel Nahmod tune. And he's just phenomenal. I mean, it's kind of like, well, that's the message. Church is over. We can go now, you know? So it's really cool. It's perfect because we're talking about Follow the Yellow Brick Road today. Last week, we talked about who have you come here to be? And we looked at discovering our spiritual gifts as we kicked off our 4-week class entitled Discovering Your Spiritual Gifts. It started last Thursday, and it was a really good crowd, a good group, and really good energy that was working together. So I was like flying when I left here. You know, it's like, yes, this is ministry. Yes, I'm okay. So we did that, and today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about gifts as well, but we're going to talk about the gifts on your journey. The gifts that you receive on your journey, even when times you think, no, that can't really be a gift, can it? We're going to explore those areas when we have like those deep moments of discontentment and discover that those are the moments that we get the hugest gifts ever when we're able to look back. So we're going to be talking about that today as we follow the yellow brick road. So I'm using the yellow brick road as a metaphor for our spiritual journey. You know where it comes from. The Wizard of Oz. We love The Wizard of Oz. 1939, and it's still relevant. Still relevant today because there's so many layers in that movie. So I'm going to start at the beginning, where Dorothy, she finds out that Glinda just said, you know, to get back home to where you really want to be, follow the yellow brick road. And there's munchkins. What? What? I can't hear it. There it is.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road.
Oh.
Follow the yellow brick road.
Yes.
Follow, follow,
Right? They're helping her. They're urging her. Remember, follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick, follow the yellow brick road. Right? So they're urging her on. This is what you need to do. Stay on that path. When you stay on that path, all that you need will come to you. They're urging her to follow her true nature. Follow her true nature. Embrace the truth of what she is, that she is divine. That if she follows her instincts and visualizes and hold that knowing, I'm sorry, is that unity? What? Okay, yes it is. And hold that knowing that when she gets to the Emerald City and sees the great Oz, she is going to get her heart's desire to come back, well, to Kansas. That's her heart's desire. Are there any obstacles on that way, on that road? There are quite a number of them. And the first one that she gets to is there's a fork in the road. And she looks one way and it's yellow brick road. She looks the other way, yellow brick road. What is she supposed to do? And then she hears, you can go that way. Or, you know, it's really okay, you can go that way too. And she meets the scarecrow who then goes, or you could go that way. Wow, how is that helpful? Well, it's helpful because what's the correct path? We get so hung up in what the correct path is. This came from The Zen of Oz. And if you haven't seen this book, it's a really great book. It talks about the 10 spiritual principles that you discover through The Wizard of Oz. And the author is Joey Green, and he says here, it doesn't matter which fork in the road Dorothy takes, as long as she follows the yellow brick road. All roads lead to self-actualization. What? All roads. How often do we get paralyzed about making the right decision, about not taking that step because we can make a mistake? And we stay there and we stagnate. When all we know in unity is about energy, and energy is about movement, isn't it? So it's about making the choice and moving with it. Because you have the understanding that what path you take, it doesn't matter. Because you will be self-actualized. Wow. So basically, it doesn't matter if I'm Jewish, Hindu, Islamic, Buddhist. Doesn't matter, does it? Because, gosh, Polly, a student. Because all roads lead to self-actualization. So the correct path, come on, there has to be a correct path. Well, Joey says the decision life throws in your path aren't always as important as they may seem. The decisions themselves are immaterial. What? The decisions themselves are immaterial. What matters is that you make a choice, that you have the courage to move forward. I always wondered when Dorothy took the path, whether if she went the other way, maybe there wouldn't have been all those obstacles, you know? I'm not so sure about that. But when the Munchkins urged her to her self-actualization, they didn't say, now listen, Dorothy, you're going to have some obstacles. First, you're going to meet a guy who's going to be a little kind of ditzy, and you're going to spend a lot of time trying to boost his confidence. They didn't say, and you're going to get involved with another guy who really doesn't have a heart. He's heartless. They also didn't say, you're going to meet this like really macho guy who's just really insecure, completely underneath. They also didn't mention, hey, there may be some flying monkeys that are out for you and your little dog too, right? Didn't say that. Nor did they point out, you're probably going to have to deal with some substance abuse issues when you get to the poppy fields, right? None of that. But those are all the obstacles. Those are all those moments for growth. So what do we learn from this? We learn that no matter which fork she takes, no matter who her companions are, no matter what obstacles are placed in her path, Dorothy will ultimately be returned to Kansas once she puts herself in tune with the creative energy of the universe. In tune with the creative energy of the universe. Man, if I knew that when I was like 10, I would be a dynamo. Well, I am a dynamo, but you know what I'm saying. More of a dynamo. So what this is about is it's about going with the flow. Our greatest issue is when we resist what is. When we resist what is. It's not about the situation. It's about the energy of resistance that we put into why it is that way. It just is. It just is. And so if it just is, whatever it is, ours is to go with the flow and allow the universe to unfold perfectly, if we believe that. If we don't believe that, then we spend an awful lot of energy trying to make things a certain way. And I found this really cute clip about a young lady who believes things should look a certain way. Did I go too far?
Yes!
Life on life's terms, right? We make ourselves nuts that it's got to look a certain way. What if problems are our gifts? What if there is no such thing as a problem without a gift for you in its hand? You seek problems because you need their gifts. Problems equal gifts. And this comes from Richard Bach, the same author who did Jonathan Livingston Seagull. That's a mouthful. This book is The Illusions, The Adventures of a Reluctant Messiah. No such thing as a problem, but it's a gift. And I think to myself, in my darkest moments, how is that a gift? And I look at a time when the most recent one was when I was in seminary. And I had this expectation of what seminary would be like. We'd all be maybe a couple inches off the ground, walking and in love and helping each other and this solidarity, and it's unity. Well, it wasn't necessarily so. And what I had to deal with in my second year there was the sense of not belonging and not being a part of. And you think, well, how could that possibly be a gift? And the gift is that I learned a deeper meaning of the I am within. And I learned that my gift is to be a prophet. My gift is to call people on their principles. That's mine to do. And so it makes sense for me to have that dark night of the soul, so to speak, for me to find out and connect in and align to what is mine to do. Who am I? What is my truth? Problems equal gifts. Right, Graham? And I pull him in case you don't know, he got laid off the week before. And he's having the time of his life right now, aren't you? I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, wow, this is what that looks like? And he's more relaxed than I've seen him in a really long time. I feel like I've got Graham back again. You know, so lots of gifts, no problems. The other thing is, as I was looking and dealing about spiritual gifts, this came to my mind, and I found this about core gifts. What are core gifts? And this comes from Deeper Dating, which is a book written by Ken Page, who's a social worker. And it says, core gifts, the places of deepest sensitivity, tenderness, and passion within us. These are the places of our greatest capacity to love and create. And they are also the places where most of us have been profoundly hurt. These gifts are strands of potential greatness within us. And when we express them, we feel most alive and empowered, or most frighteningly vulnerable. Wow. So my work here, my core is to be vulnerable with each of you, to allow you to see my foibles, my mistakes, my errors, my shifts, my transformations, live as they're happening, not like 20 years ago, but right here, right now. That's vulnerability. And when people approach me, sometimes from a place of misunderstanding or fear, and they come and they come at you strong. The ego part of me that wants to look good wants to say, girlfriend, do you need a come to Jesus moment? Right? But my commitment to seeing the divine in each of you keeps me soft, humble, and vulnerable to each and every one of you. To each and every one of you. So, that's the path. And sometimes the path is hazy. Sometimes it's unclear. Most of the time we don't know what it's supposed to look like because it's not our business. It's the universe's business. All we need to do is take the next step, take the next action on the path. Just keep moving, just shifting that energy. So, if I've inspired you, then that's a hoo-hoo. If you want to attend the Discovering Your Spiritual Gifts class and you missed the first one and you feel like you'd like to come in, please feel free to do so. This week we're going to be looking at, along the journey, what are our gifts and what our values are. If you plan to attend the class this Thursday at 5:30, there are 2 sheets that are in Aspen's office that you need to take with you and complete before you come back to class. All right? So, Green Spirit, you ready? You gonna rock us? Woo-hoo. All right. Thank you.